Hello and welcome all to my new series Double Feature, where I take two movies out of a franchise and I review them essentially. Uh, Before we do that, though, I'd love to thank special effects people. So since 2005, I really noticed that in Batman Begins and everything, CGI in comic book movies have become phenomenally great and not dated and stick out like a sore thumb. And I'd like to give you guys a little clap. You guys are doing a great job, keeping it not dated and not stick out like a sore thumb, like I said. But with that said, yeah, thank you guys, and I'd love to get on to the review now. Avengers is the 2012 movie that was directed and written by Joss Whedon. Nailed it. Now, is this movie great? It's pretty great. Yeah, this movie is great. It still holds up, like I said, and the nostalgia is definitely there, but it doesn't hold me back from seeing the negative parts in this movie, because even when I saw it in theaters, the nostalgia parts didn't hold me back from seeing negative parts in the movie. Well, that said, let's get on to some of the characters. Tony Stark is perfectly utilized in this movie, to question what's Shield doing, why am I a part of this? You already said I wasn't supposed to be part of this. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense now. But yeah, they do a great job with going back from previous movies and answering the questions we had. But yeah, Iron Man has great one-liners in this movie, Does mother knoweth you weareth her drapes? That's just hilarious. Yes, Tony Stark is great, but who is my favorite character out of this movie? Captain America. This is the first time that I really saw Captain America and figured out Captain America is my favorite superhero, because one, he's really relatable to me, and two, the one thing they could have done with this movie is, made him a dopey, stupid character. Like, what does that mean? Oh, I get that reference, because it's kind of an older reference, you know what I mean? But no, he holds his own. He kind of, towards the end of the movie, tells the team what to do and everything, and assembles them, essentially, and yeah, I think they didn't underutilize them. They gave them both great screen time. And also, looking back in this, yeah, definitely the Civil War rivalry kind of... There was a seed of Civil War in this movie is what I'm trying to say.
Why shouldn't the guy let off a little steam?
You know damn well why. Back off.
Oh, I'm starting to want you to make me.
Yeah. Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
I know guys with none of that worth 10 of you. I've seen the footage. The only thing you really fight for is yourself. You may not be a threat, but you better stop pretending to be a hero.
A hero? Like you? You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds.
Now, Thor. I'm going to come out and say this right now. I don't like Thor, the first Thor movie. Okay? I'm being honest. I'm sorry. But Thor was fine. I think Thor was utilized good. Like I said, with Captain America, this could have been a dopey character that didn't know what the hell he was doing. But no, they utilized him great, and also he was very charming at times, like Captain America. And they could both hold themselves well. So basically what I'm saying, with the two characters that could have been stupid and written terribly, they did a great job with. Thank you, Joss Whedon. And before we get on any other characters, I'd love to thank Joss Whedon and Marvel for giving him the chance to, write this movie, direct it, do the screenplay for the movie. He did a great job. And hands out to you. You made a fantastic and, in my opinion, timeless film. So let's move on to Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, in my opinion, in this movie is great. She plays the spy part of this movie very well. She's very secretive. Yeah, I don't see Scarlett Johansson. I see Black Widow there, which is great. And she also has a great relationship with Hawkeye, and also with the sequel to this movie actually kind of adds on to that, and I really like it, actually. Now, Hawkeye. Ever since this movie came out, I was kind of a fan of Hawkeye. Is that weird? People say Hawkeye sucks, he's the worst Avenger and everything. Oh, we hear Jeremy Renner over there saying, oh, I need more screen time, to understand my character and everything. This isn't the Hawkeye I signed on for. I was like, you know what? Why don't you give yourself a pat on the back? You held your own in this movie, You did a great job with, being the character who was deceived and, had his mind turned and then came back in the end to really prove himself and be part of the team and hold his own. And I give you a lot of credit for that, man. And I'm not saying that you're really shitting on yourself for this movie. I'm just saying I wish you kind of appreciate it more. You're in a big movie and you got you got a lot of screen time compared to everyone else. Now, if there's a character I'm not a big fan of in this movie, it's Nick Fury. I'm not the biggest fan of Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, but I'm gonna say when he's great in this movie. But there's stupid choices that he does in this movie. Now, and it's not like story plot choices or anything. It's more like things he chooses to do after he does something smart. Like, okay, here's an example. So there's a bomb going towards New York on a plane. So the plane's about to go off. He shoots it with a rocket launcher. Okay. But that was a decoy plane. So what does he do? He drops the rocket launcher because he doesn't have any more rockets in it. So he pulls out his handgun and starts shooting at it. What are you going to do? Are you going to hit the guy? I'm pretty sure there's freaking bulletproof glass. There's penguin glass essentially on that. What are you doing? What are you doing? This movie's great. It holds up really well in my opinion, and yeah. I mean, it definitely has the Dark Knight effect that it can hold these ensemble characters together very well. And, I'm going to give this movie a great 9 out of 10. And this movie's just got a lot of nostalgia factor for me. Wait, I didn't say that. And it really made me become a Captain America fan. And yeah, there's great storytelling, great directing, and everything seemed like it came together perfectly for them. Oh, shit. Forgot to mention Loki. Now, I'm not a fan of Loki, okay? He's not my favorite Marvel villain or anything like everybody else. Loki, he's charismatic in this movie, but I feel like there could have been a better villain. No offense to Hiddleston fans. I understand why you like him, but he's just not my favorite villain. I don't feel sympathetic for him, and I didn't really like him in the first Thor movie. But with that said, I'm going to move on to the Age of Ultron, which only lasted about a week. That's a pretty short age. Alright guys, Avengers Age of Ultron is the Joss Whedon directed sequel to the 2012 hit Avengers. Does it live up to the hype? A lot of people will probably say no, but I didn't have a lot of hype going into this movie. But first, I would like to say something. I did not talk about the musical score from the last Avengers movie. I know, right? So people bitch and moan about Marvel not having classic themes or anything, but I think they're wrong. They just don't find them. Avengers has an amazing theme, which unfortunately in this film gets watered down to the point where it loses kind of the focus of why the first Avengers theme was really great. The first Avengers theme was great because it didn't just have the triumphant Avengers part going dun 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 dun, you know what I mean? It also had this kind of pop, upbeat tone to it, and in this version they kind of just centered on going more towards the triumphant part, you know what I mean? Take a listen. But nonetheless, of course, that was a small complaint. A complaint I have is there's not enough Thor time. We don't have enough time to figure out why he's going to that bath thing. I mean, it's cool seeing Thor there and them interacting and everything. Wish there was a little bit more Thor time. Because I thought Captain America and Thor could be like BFFs. Like have some good banter between each other because they're both from worlds where they're basically fishes out of water learning how to deal and cope with this new world that they're set in. And I thought that would be cool and they can be buds, but we don't see too much or anything like that, which is unfortunate. They sacrificed the Thor time for some more Renner time. Renner complaining and finally getting his wishes in this movie for his character to be developed more, which, good on you, Marvel. I'm fine with the Thor, actually. Think about it. It's not just about Thor and everybody else. It's about Renner too, and it's so cool seeing Marvel take this small character, Hawkeye, who was just like a dude from the first movie who got turned and everything and is kind of sarcastic and funny, and then turned him into an actual character in this movie, which I thought was cool, and it just shows Marvel really cares. Now, good on you, Marvel, because, like I said, I liked Hawkeye before. Now I like him a little bit more. One other complaint is the aesthetics of Ultron. Ultron is a good villain. I think he's even underappreciated for what he is. When people talk about good Marvel villains, he never gets brought up. Well, maybe he does. I don't know. People like to bring up Loki. Not a big fan of Loki. Don't find him sympathetic or anything. But you know what? Good. You guys got your opinion. I think Ultron, in my opinion, is my favorite Marvel villain because, he has a great reason on why he hates the Avengers. He's just really menacing. But here's the complaint I have, finally. My complaint is Ultron. You know how his face moves when he talks like a human?
There are no strings on me.
Now, I don't know if they could have done this or not, but what I would have personally done if I was the person who came up with that idea, I wouldn't do it because, one, if you made his face not move, that means you can really get James Spader to really make you feel and move. And also another complaint, he moves like a human. I don't want to feel very... You can make us feel sympathetic for a robot. There could be one scene in this movie where he still thinks he's a dude and he actually looks at himself for the first time and realizes, oh my god, I'm a robot. I'm a man. I'm not a man like I wanted to be or something like that, or thought I was. I'm a robot. And then gets him just more pissed off, and we could have felt sympathetic for him. But no, they chose to go this route where he he has little teeth and he talks and everything. And he is very menacing, but I just wish they would have went the more robot-y route. You know what I mean? I think, personally, I could have... personally, that's just a better thing for me. If you guys like that, cool, it's fine. It doesn't bug me when I get into the character of Ultron or anything, but, like I said, I love me some Ultron. I love me James Spader. Now, I need to address something. People compare this movie to Batman vs. Superman. 1. This movie doesn't have a shitty director. 2. This movie doesn't have a clusterfuck of a script. 3. These characters are 10 times more likable than anybody in fucking Batman vs. Superman. So here's the thing. I'm going to address the third thing I mentioned first. There's only 3 characters out of Batman vs. Superman I actually enjoyed and liked and had character development. The other ones can go fuck off because they're underdeveloped and really badly written. Now, you see these characters right here? Those characters are all likable. The new characters that were introduced, the characters from the last movie who didn't get enough screen time, and yes, even Thor. Thor's likable, in his own charming way. Now, the thing is yes, Batman's great. Wonder Woman, wow, I was really surprised, and, I was very happy she had some good scenes. Jeremy Irons as Alfred, man, blew my mind. I actually think that he did a better job than Ben Affleck. No offense, Ben Affleck, he did a good job. But this movie has an okay script. It's directed competently. This movie isn't confusing at times or takes me out of it for a second, fucking questioning the design choices you made for it, except for Ultron. Whereas Batman vs. Superman, I got up and I looked at my brother like 5 times. 5 times where I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Now, if you're wondering, yes, this is a transition into what I think of the character development and everything. First off, Iron Man. This is really where Iron Man turns into something else. Iron Man wants to put a suit of armor around the world, whereas before he couldn't give 2 shits about anybody else but himself. But now he wants to protect himself, because we saw this in Iron Man 3 and the end of Avengers, but it finally comes to fruition with Ultron. Him wanting to create it so he can have a suit armor around the world, like I said, and I think that's great. And we have Captain America over there being like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why'd you do it? Why didn't you tell us about it at least? I thought we weren't supposed to be like S.H.I.E.L.D. in this aspect and everything, being secretive and not telling anybody about anything. And it actually leads to a, great thing at the end. They all can kind of trust each other a little bit more. Which, of course, there's a great line in the movie leading up to Civil War where it was like, maybe you haven't seen my dark side yet. But no, like I said, Captain America This is the best Captain America's looked, in my opinion. You know, they finally got it down in the Winter Soldier. Not to say the first Avenger suit was bad. It's not bad at all. It's great. It just wouldn't fit today. And I think they took the aspects from the first Avenger suit, and also the way that the Winter Soldier suit looks great. They put that together for this movie, and now we have a classic Captain America outfit I really love. We got Scarlett Johansson. I like to say that. Yes, we add on her a little bit, you know, find out why she's kind of so cold sometimes and somber, you know. She had these terrible stuff happen to her when she was a kid, and, you know, very serious stuff, and she actually finds a connection with with Bruce Banner, and I actually did buy it, and I still do buy it to today. There's people who bitch and complain about, it's forced in the movie, oh, she's a Mary Sue because she was a damsel in distress. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Literally, shut the fuck up. Do you think they would really do that to Black Widow? Black Widow, come on. But yeah, character development for Black Widow in this movie, you know, this is one of the fascinating things I really enjoy about this movie, is everybody had their scenes except for Thor. Yeah. Thor, by the way. Thor has a shoved-in plot point where he has to find out what the Infinity Stones are so he can set up Thor. So he has a dream sequence to set up Thor Ragnarok. Then he goes to the pool, and what pisses me off is we'll never find out who this lady is. Yeah, you see her? Remember her from the trailers? We're never going to find out who that is unless Joss Whedon tells us. Yeah. Hawkeye's character development with his wife and kids, I found really great, not forced in. You know, got me to like the character a little bit more, like I said. And, you know, you really relate to the guy because he's kind of Han Solo. Think about it. He's Han Solo. Han Solo, his purpose in the movies is to say, hey, this is stupid, kid. You know, what are we doing here? Unless it's The Force Awakens where he's telling people, yeah, it's stupid, but, you know, it makes sense. Believe me. It's real. All of it.
It's true. All of it.
Bruce Banner. Am I the only one who kind of liked Edward Norton a little bit more than Mark Ruffalo? But no offense to Mark Ruffalo. I'm doing that on purpose. No offense to Mark Ruffalo. I do respect his Bruce Banner, and I love the endings of this movie where it's kind of like Empire Strikes Back, where we don't have everyone at the end. You know, Bruce is gone, Thor's leaving, you know, and it's just the new Avengers, Tony Stark's back and everything. Yeah. I do like the ending of this movie a lot. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. We're going to address Quicksilver really quick. There was a big question on whether we would like this one more than the X-Men Days of Future Past one, and that I didn't even want to compare them. Anyway, I like this Quicksilver. He is one charismatic, and I do enjoy him and his sister's character development with Stark and why they hate Stark, and I really bought into that. And yeah, there's just some good writing, and also Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's a great actor. I've loved him since Kick-Ass. Scarlet Witch, I think, was great in this movie, but she has potential to be great in Civil War and the rest of the Marvel movies, and I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I'm not going to go into side characters really, like Cheadle and Falcon Dude, Anthony Mackie, but yeah, I think this was solid. This movie was great. You know, we see the Avengers fall. The one thing I wish they would have done was they're cocky at the beginning of the movie. They kind of are cocky, but they're taking it seriously. And I wish kind of Cap was the one telling him, hey, stop guys, we got to be serious now. We got to take it seriously. People's lives are on the line. And then they're like, shut up, you know, we got it covered. And then they would fall for their incompetence and also Scarlet Witch fucking them over. Yeah, there's the Hulkbuster fight scene. Oh my god, who doesn't love that? Okay, guys, with that said, all my complaints, all my stuff, I'm gonna give Avengers Age of Ultron. Oh wait, one thing I forgot to complain about, Avengers Age of Ultron, it's not the Age of Ultron if it only lasts about a week. You should have thought about that, Joss Whedon. But anyway, I'm gonna give Avengers Age of Ultron a good 8.4 out of 10. Yes, I'm giving Avengers Age of Ultron 8.4 out of 10. Have a lot of fun with this movie. Definitely don't skip it. Don't make it like Iron Man 2 where you're gonna skip that one, or Iron Man 3, or even Thor, if you will. I'm sorry, I can't stop talking about how I don't like Thor 1, and we'll get into that when I do a double feature eventually before Thor Ragnarok comes out. Thanks, guys. Did you like Double Feature for the first time? I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fun talking about Avengers and watching Avengers. Oh my god, there's so much in the. I got like fucking goosebumps through watching both those movies. You know, the end fight scene to the first Avengers movie is nonstop, and if for people who hate that Captain America outfit, I'm personally not one of them. Blame Agent Coulson.
Modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input.
The uniform.
Rest in peace, my friend. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.